actually have us start in a reclined position for our breathing today, and then we'll go into a little bit of a leg warm up. So if you're able to, do you have yoga blocks at home too?
I just have one.
One, that's perfect. All you need is one. So
Okay.
I'm gonna place one here at the top of my mat. And then if you have a pillow or a firm bolster, you can place that right on top. Okay. And so it's your choice how you'd like your legs with this. I know in pregnancy, hips can feel a little funky in different positions. So I'm gonna give you two options. If you are dealing with some hip discomfort and opening the hips is bothering them, then you can bring your feet as wide as the mat and just let your knees knock together.
Okay.
If you prefer to have more of a hip opener, you can do reclined bound ankles, so bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees come out. So just take a moment and find the position that feels best in your body today. Good. Oh, and we're going to bring a hand to the heart and a hand down to baby. And just breathe normally as you start to calm down and connect to your body and your baby. See if you can really let your head, neck, and shoulders drop. And with that, see if you can allow your thoughts to pour out of your head, starting to quiet down. Let your jaw be soft and allow your breath to come in the nose and out the mouth. Just starting to lengthen the breath a bit, longer on the inhales, longer on the exhales. And as you're laying here and breathing, just start to mentally walk through what you feel happening in your body, your emotions, and your mind. Sometimes we notice things that are physical first. Maybe you can feel baby moving or starting to quiet down. Maybe in the quiet, you're feeling parts of the body that might feel a little different today. Areas you'll want to pay attention to when you practice. Keeping the breath longer and longer. Maybe your emotions are loud today. You can use that breath to help soften the emotions. Inhaling deep into those areas that you feel discomfort. And exhaling, quieting it down, letting it go. And we do the same with any tight thoughts. Maybe your mind is having trouble letting go of something. And if that's the case, just breathe into those thoughts and exhale, imagine that they can just float away. So we'll take just another minute or two to lie here and breathe. See what you can let go of as you commit that this next hour is just about you and baby and letting everything else fall away. Letting your breathing be nice and big now, filling up the belly, filling up the ribs, filling up the chest. And those exhales deflate the whole body like letting air out of a balloon. Good. 3 more of these big, full breaths at your pace. And as those breaths are finishing, you can allow your breath to return to neutral. With eyes still closed, starting to set an intention for your practice today. Something that you would like to focus on, something you'd like to take away with you from today's practice. Good. And now starting to bring in some movement in the body. Wiggle those fingers and toes. And we're going to inhale, bring the arms up and overhead, rotate the wrists. If you had your knees out, go ahead and bring them in. And bring the feet to about hip distance or wider. So about as wide or wider than the mat. So you can let the arms relax wherever they're comfortable. We're just going to start to windshield wiper the knees to open those hips up. So we inhale at center. We exhale, just dropping the knees to one side and then moving with breath. So inhales, we come through center, exhales to the other side. So you're just going to follow your breath and your pace here, starting to see what is going on in those hips today. And if you're like me, you'll notice maybe one hip feels a little tighter. You know, you can always kind of hang out in an area where you feel that tension. Take a breath. Release some of that tension. Good. And then coming back to center with a hand on each knee, just bringing those knees in and rocking a little bit. Leaving those knees nice and wide, plenty of room for the belly. Great. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our strap or belt. Let the right knee bend and the left leg's going to come long. And then we're going to bring that left leg up and wrap that belt around the heel of the leg. So some people teach this midsole, but I like doing it from the heel. I think it gives you better control. So you're loosely holding onto the strap here. We don't need to over grip it all. And as you inhale, lengthen through that leg. So pushing through the heel, lengthening through the back of the leg. And as you exhale, you bring that leg a little closer to you. So again, we're not over gripping and we're not forcing the stretch. The strap is just there to help us deepen this without having to lift our upper body. So nice and gentle, following the breath. Inhales, lengthen. Exhales, bring that leg a little closer to the body. If this is feeling easy for you, you can go ahead and lengthen that right leg. And if you do that, flex through the right foot, keeping that leg nice and active on the ground. Using those nice deep breaths in the nose and out a nice soft jaw. Especially in prenatal, we practice breathing with a soft jaw, open cervix. It's a nice way to prepare for birthing. And then wrap that strap around the left hand. Right arm can come out long. And as you exhale, you're going to let that leg come all the way out to the left as far as it feels comfortable for you. Don't worry if it doesn't go very far. And I should mention that I still have my right hip down. So if you're getting that left leg out there and your right hip is popping up, just bring that leg back a bit. Nice deep breath. Try to soften through that whole left leg. Keep your right leg active, flexing through that foot. One more breath. And then as we inhale, that leg's going to come up, up, up. We're going to take the strap now in the right hand, let the left leg come over, and you're going to roll all the way over. So you might need to scooch yourself on your pillow so you don't fall off. That top arm can come back if it feels good, and you can also look over to the left if that feels good. You don't have to if that feels tweaky on your neck. And this time you'll notice that I do have my left hip all the way up off the mat. So I'm flexing through both feet now, keeping nice and active. Bring in those deep breaths through the nose and out the mouth. Seeing what I can let go of with every exhale. One more breath. Good. Next inhale, we bring that left leg up. You can bend the knee, release that strap there, and just hug that left knee into the chest. Great. So we're going to place the left foot on the mat, knee is bent. You've got your right leg nice and long now. Inhale, bring that right leg up and place that strap around the right heel. So we flex through that right foot. And inhales, lengthen, really start to open up through the back of that leg. And then as you exhale, we bring that leg a little closer towards the face. Inhales, lengthen. I'm really pushing my foot into that strap. And then as I exhale, I'm gently bringing the leg toward me. Again, no over gripping. My knuckles are not white here. We have enough relaxin, that great hormone flowing through our body that helps all of our ligaments open up in preparation for birth. So we never need to force stretches during pregnancy. Our body is already doing a good job there. One more breath here. And then if this is feeling easy, you can take that left leg and straighten it on the floor, flexing through that foot to keep it active. We'll take a few more breaths here. So inhales, lengthen. Exhales, the leg comes a little closer to the body. One more breath. And then we'll take that strap wrapped around the right hand. Left arm comes long to our side as we exhale and start to lower that right leg out to the right. Remember, we only go as low as we can so that we can keep that left hip on the ground. So for most of us, the leg will still be up. Flexing through both feet. Inhales, lengthen. Exhales, we release a little more. What can you let go of here? One more nice deep breath. And as we inhale, that left leg comes up. We're going to take, I'm sorry, the right leg comes up. We're going to take the strap in our left hand and exhale that right leg all the way over. Again, just making sure that you don't fall off of your pillows here. So if it's comfortable, you can look over your right shoulder, but don't feel you have to. And my left leg is still active here as well. So I'm flexing through that foot and breathing. Softening wherever you can. One more nice deep breath. And on an inhale, we're going to lift that right leg, releasing the strap, hugging that knee into the chest. Good. So we're going to place both feet on the mat here and roll over a little to one side. So in pregnancy, especially when sitting up, think about using the hands and think about exhaling and bringing the core in. So hugging baby in as you sit up. It's a good habit to get into when you are moving around. We're going to come onto our hands and knees, and I'd like you to place either a towel or a thin blanket underneath where your knees will go. It's just a little extra padding if you have it. Good. So coming into tabletop, we're looking to make sure that our wrists are mirroring our shoulders, our knees are mirroring our hips. Right. And then as you're ready, we're going to start to wake up the spine with some cat-cow. So as we inhale and coming up into cow, I am opening through my heart, but I'm not trying to arch my low back. We've got enough of that going on in pregnancy. We don't need to exacerbate it. And then as I exhale, I find that nice cat spine, the whole spine rounds. So I'm going to follow my breath and pace here. Yours will look a little different than mine. Just starting to explore that extension and flexion through the spine, following breath. And then as you're moving, you might notice that you don't just want to move through cat-cow, you might also want to move more like a snake spine, rolling a little in the shoulders and the hips. I want you to feel free here to just explore this movement on your own and move however feels good today. Good. Now bring the hands a little farther forward. We're going to start taking this into some nice hip rolls. So I inhale forward, exhale back, going in one direction. It's almost like we're going through kind of a cobra and a child's pose here. Reversing that direction as you're ready. Oh, I had a nice little pop in my back. And coming to stillness, finding your tabletop again, bringing those hands back to neutral. We'll get a nice little shoulder stretch here. Inhale, right arm high, gaze follows the thumb. Exhale, thread that needle down, keeping the hips high. You can lower down to that right shoulder. And if it feels good, you can take the left arm overhead. Don't feel that you have to. There shouldn't be any compression on the belly here. If you need to widen your knees, that's fine. Nice deep breath into the shoulder. One more breath. And then if you have that left arm overhead, go ahead and place it down on the mat, pressing through the palm. Inhale, right arm high. And exhale back down. Go ahead and just take a cat spine first. Just a counter pose there. Inhaling, coming back to center, and we're going to take it to the other side. So on your next inhale, left arm comes high, gaze follows the thumb. Exhale, threading that needle, left shoulder comes down to the mat. You can either keep the right palm where it is, or if it feels all right, you can bring that overhead to 12 o'clock. Deepening the breath here. Imagining that you can fill the whole back body with those inhales. Good, one more breath. And bringing that right palm back to the shoulder if it was overhead. Press through the hand, inhale, left arm high. Exhale, left hand comes down, and we take that cat for a counter pose. Good. Great. So inhaling, coming back to a neutral spine. And let's just rotate the head a little bit. So little circles in one direction. And reversing as you're ready. Great. So go ahead and stretch back your right foot, curling the right toes on the mat, just pressing through that foot. And then we're going to hug baby in as we inhale, bringing that foot up, flexing through the foot. If it feels all right, inhale the left arm as well. So starting to wake up that core. And when we think of core, not just the belly, but think about hugging in all the muscles around the low back, the side waist, and all those supporting belly muscles. Good. As you exhale, leave the right foot up, bring the left arm down, and then we're going to bring that right foot across the body, so all the way off the left side of the mat. Tucking the toes are going to be down on the ground, and I want you to look back towards that left foot. I'm sorry, towards the right foot. You're looking towards the left of your mat, but at that right foot. One deep breath here. Just opening through the side waist. And on your next inhale, that right leg's going to come back to center and exhale it down. Again, we'll take a cat spine to counter pose. Inhaling to center. So we're going to curl the left toes down on the mat now, pressing through that left leg. And then hugging baby in, inhale that left leg, flexing through that foot. If that feels good, you can bring the right arm up as well. You don't have to. And we're just gonna breathe here, finding some stability, starting to warm up in that core. Next, exhale, the right arm comes down and that left leg's gonna come all the way off the right side of the mat. Pressing the toes into the floor there and lengthening through the heel. And you're gonna go ahead and look back towards that left foot. So you're curling to the right. Opening up through the ribs, through the hip flexor and the side waist. Next inhale is going to bring that left foot back up and then exhale it down. And we'll take one last little cat here just to make sure that low back is opened up. Good. Inhaling back to center. Go ahead and bring your hands a little farther forward. Tuck those toes. Let's find our first down dog for today. So bring those hips nice and high. Just pedal those feet out. We've already done a lot of work on the back of the legs, but it never hurts to pedal. So during pregnancy, the feet can be as wide as the mat or even wider so that you feel nice and supported, nice and stable. And finding a still point, bend the knees, press through the palms and lift those hips up and back. So we're trying to lengthen the spine now. Drawing the shoulder blades back onto the ribs, lots of room for your neck. And keeping that spine nice and long, then you can go ahead and start to lower the heels any amount. Knees can still be a little bent, whatever's comfy for you. And I want you to come back to those deep breaths here. So we're going to draw the air in through the nose and let it pour out a soft, open mouth. One more. Good. Next inhale, I want you to step the right foot outside of the right hand. You can take as many steps as you need to get there. We're going to plant the left palm and inhale the right arm high. Nice open twist here. If you'd like, you can take that top arm and wrap it around the low back to open a little more through the shoulders and pecs. One more big breath. Next inhale, right arm comes high. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that hand down to the mat and lower the back knee. If you're feeling at all dizzy, you can go ahead and bring your hands to your knee first, or you can just inhale, arms come all the way up. And think about keeping your low back as neutral as possible. So neutral, especially in pregnancy, doesn't necessarily mean flat, but we don't want to arch in the low back. Hug baby in as you lean forward, opening through the front of that left hip. For more of a chest opener, you can let the arms fall back, thumbs spin out, and you can even start to arch up at the chest, opening through the collarbones. One more breath here. Inhale, arms rise, hips come back to neutral. Exhale, bring the hands down, and we're going to step that back foot forward so that we are in a forward fold with our legs nice and wide. Taking any forward fold position that feels good. So I've got my elbows here, my knees are nice and soft. A couple nice deep breaths here. Good. On my next inhale, I'm going to flatten my back and bring my elbows to my knees so my knees are a little bent. Taking a breath here. And then on my next inhale, I'm going to press through my feet, keeping my back nice and flat. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And placing a hand on the heart and a hand on baby, just taking a moment to pause. Release the hips, release the thighs, release the belly. Good. Feeling what it's like to be up in my feet and rekindling that connection between my heart and my baby. Great. Next, inhale, eyes open, arms rise. And as we exhale, step back with that right foot, nice and wide, coming into a warrior one or a crescent moon. So I like to be in crescent. If you prefer to have that back heel down, go for it, whatever feels good for you. Just like on the floor, I'm going to let my arms come down, thumbs spin back. Low back is nice and neutral, baby's hugged in, but I'm going to arch a little right from my sternum. Opening up. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, I'm going to come with my hands down on the inside of my left foot. I'm going to lower my back knee, and I'm going to step back into my tabletop here. Bringing my hands a little forward, I'm going to come back up into my downward facing dog. Taking a moment and just to find a good solid base. And then we'll take a couple breaths here in the nose, out the mouth. Good. Next inhale, I'm going to look forward and I'm going to step that left foot back onto the outside of the left hand, taking as many steps as I need to get there. I'm placing my right hand down, inhaling left arm high, nice open twist here. And if you want that extra stretch, you can wrap that top arm around the low back, opening through the collarbones, leaning back in the chest. Legs are strong. Look what you can do, mama. Good. Next inhale, arm rises. Exhale, I'm going to bring that hand down and the knee is going to come down as well. So if you want the intermediate of bringing the hands to the knee, go for it. Or you can go ahead and let the arms rise. We'll meet here. Checking back in with the low back, hugging baby in to give a nice tight core. And as we exhale, we're going to lean forward in those hips, opening up through the front of that right hip flexor. If you want to open the pecs more, you can let the arms fall back, thumbs spin to the back wall. And maybe starting to arch that chest, opening the heart. One more breath. Next, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, we bring both hands on the inside of the left foot. And then we're going to step that right foot forward so that we're in a slightly wider than hip distance forward fold, letting the head hang. Arms can take any position that feels good. Knees are nice and soft and springy. I always like to imagine that my thoughts are just pouring out the top of my head here. What can you let go of? Good. Next, inhale, bending the knees, elbows come to knees, flat back. And then on your next inhale, pressing through the feet, flat back all the way up. Exhaling, hands through heart center. And bringing a hand to your heart and a hand to baby, let the eyes close. Can you release the legs? Can you release the hips? Can you release the belly? Taking a moment here to come back to your intention. Good. Inhaling, opening the eyes. Next inhale, arms rise. We're going to step that left leg back now as wide as it needs to be. Finding that warrior one. Keeping that low back neutral by hugging in the whole core. And then if you'd like to arch through the chest and let those arms fall back, please do. Nice and open through the whole front of the chest. Good. Inhale, arms rise. And we're going to step to the front of the mat here. So I want you to go ahead and remove the blanket or towel that you had on the mat. And we're going to stand so that we're in a nice wide leg here. So you might be sideways from the camera. Perfect. Beautiful. Inhale, arms are going to come out. And then bring those heels in just a little. So feet are more like a plie, a 45-degree angle. As you exhale, we're going to come into goddess, bending in the arms, bending in the legs. Inhale, open. Exhale, goddess. So find your pace and your flow here. And if you'd like to, we can start to bring in some pelvic floor work here. So as I inhale, I release the pelvic floor completely. And as I exhale and bend, I'm going to bring that pelvic floor in. So just a quick reminder that when you're hugging in the pelvic floor, it may be as simple as just squeezing those muscles that you would use to stop yourself from urinating. Or as you practice that more and more, you'll start to feel that there are a lot of layers of muscles that rise from the perineum up into the abdomen. And we're just hugging all of those in. 2 more. Good. Next time you're down, stay down. Wrap the right arm underneath the left, eagle arms. Let those elbows rise, and we're going to sway back and forth. You can let that pelvic floor just relax here as you flow back and forth. Good. Then inhale, open everything up, straightening the legs, straightening the arms. Exhale, bending those knees, wrapping the left elbow under the right, eagle arms. And letting those elbows come up, so you should feel that in your upper back. And we sway. Good. Beautiful. Next inhale, straighten everything again. Now parallel those feet. As we exhale, we're going to come into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Bringing the head down. And you can play with your favorite hand position here. So maybe you want to reach out towards the ankles, reach back behind you, or maybe you really want that stability of just having the hands right under the shoulders. Two more nice deep breaths here. What can you let go of? Good. Now bring those heels in again, bending the knees, bringing the elbows to the knees. Just take a breath here. Make sure that you feel nice and stable. And then on your next inhale, we're going to press through the feet, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then heel toe those feet in. We'll bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby, letting the eyes close one more time, rekindling that connection. Knowing all this sweet movement that you're finding for your body also transfers to your baby growing inside. Caring for yourself is caring for them. And then on an inhale, letting the eyes open. So let's get a little bit of balance in today. We're going to do tree, nice and simple. You are welcome to use a wall if you'd like. I'll show it on a wall for one side, and then we'll show it freestanding for the other. So if you're using a wall, two ways to do it. One is by placing a hand on the wall. The other that I actually prefer for tree is to have my back against the wall, because then you can be really gentle with it. Remove that. And you're going to go ahead and pour all of your weight into your right standing leg. So eyes are nice and open. And you're going to choose a drishti, a gaze point, something that doesn't move in the room with you. So 3 different stages. First, we're going to bring the hands to the heart. You can either just go ahead and bring a heel up to your other heel. This can be what your tree looks like today. You can go ahead and bring the heel under your knee, and that could be your tree. Or if you want to go for the full expression, you can bring the heel all the way up towards the groin. Just make sure that you're not pressing into the knee. So wherever you are, press the foot into the leg into the foot. And then as you're ready, you'll grow those branches. Some of us like to keep our branches still. Some of us like to explore moving them in the wind. Choose what's good for you today. And looking at what you can do, how amazing your growing body is. And then as you're ready, your limbs will start to come back. Hands flow back to heart center. First, bring the knee forward to reset the hip before bringing it down. Good. Letting the eyes close, hand to heart, hand to baby. Just reconnect here. And we'll take it to the other side. So inhaling, eyes open. So this one I'll show freestanding. Again, it's up to you which one you'd like to do. I'm going to pour all my weight into my left standing leg. You may see the mirror image here. Hands are at heart center. And again, we'll do 1, 2, 3. So 1 would be the heel to the ankle. 2 would be the heel under the knee. And 3 would be the whole foot up onto the thigh. Finding what works for you. Focusing on your gaze point. And then when you feel nice and steady, growing those limbs, opening up. Beautiful. Feeling all that sweet mama energy flowing from the ground up through your body, out through your leaves. And as you're ready, you're going to bring that energy back in. Hands coming through heart center. Turning that knee to center first. for a nice neutral hip before that foot comes down. And again, hand to the heart, hand to baby. Eyes can close. Release the legs. Release the hips. Release the belly. Good. Inhaling, eyes open. So go ahead and grab a block. We're going to start heading back down to the floor, and we're going to come into a nice yogic squat here. So I'm going to have the block right underneath my sits bones. I feel nice and stable depending on how your hips are. You can always use 2 blocks. I'm going to bring my hands, palms to touch. Good. And bringing those elbows on the inside of the knee. So I'm dropping my hips, feeling the spine grow, nice long spine here. And we're going to come back into our pelvic floor. And this time we're going to contract the pelvic floor on the inhale and release on the exhale. So as you inhale, imagine almost like an elevator, starting at the ground floor and then tightening layer, layer, layer of pelvic floor. Exhale, fully release. That elevator drops all the way down. Inhale, starting at the perineum, pulling in those muscles. In, in. Exhale, fully release. So follow your breath and your pace. Knowing that even if you just feel a hint of this, that's fine. Eventually, you might feel layer and layer and layer leading all the way up to the uterus. Two more. Good, beautiful. Okay, releasing the hands down. We're going to come down to lay all the way on the mat and bring that block with you. We'll just end here with a little bit of bridge. So I'm going to bring that block and place it between my thighs. It's up to you whether this feels good or not. It's just nice and bridge to also have that action of pulling the thighs in. I'm bringing my shoulder blades nicely underneath my back and pressing through the feet. Inhale those hips high. So that action's coming much more from the legs than from the hips and the belly. Your choice with arms. You can leave them down. If it feels good to interlace, you can. I also like robot arms or even arms overhead. When you feel like you want to come down, you come down. You don't need to be a hero here. This is a really nice way to strengthen the back and the obliques and the transverse abdominis. So a lot of those supporting core muscles that help us through pregnancy. Good. I'm going to exhale and release down. And we'll do one option here for either a supported bridge or supported shoulder stand. So I'm going to have that block in my hand. And again, I'm going to come up into bridge by pressing through my feet, lifting those hips on an inhale. And then you can place that block at a height that feels good right underneath your sacrum. I'm using that middle height today, but there are 3 different heights on the block, whatever you like. So this might feel like enough for you, in which case you can stay here in supported bridge. Or if you want more of an inversion, you can lift one foot and then the other, coming into our supported shoulder stand. These are both safe and beneficial inversions to do during pregnancy, especially if or when you get to a point in pregnancy where you start having swelling in the feet and legs. Any inversion like this is really nice to help use gravity to bring the lymph down back to your lymph nodes in the groin. There are also theories through spinning babies that this helps get your baby into an optimal position for birthing and may even turn a breech baby. So if you're up here with me, let your eyes close. I'm going to readjust. Release in the head. Release through the shoulders and the neck. See if the body can settle down here. Good. Now to come out of this, you'll gently lower one foot and then the other. And when both feet are planted down, pressing through the feet to lift the hips, removing that block and rolling back down. I'm going to grab one of my knees on each side and just roll a little to release the low back. If there are any additional poses you'd like to take, this is a great time to do it as we start to move towards Shavasana. And when you are ready for Shavasana, you can either set up on your side or you can follow me. I'm going to demonstrate a reclined version that is safe in all stages of pregnancy. So for my Shavasana, I'm placing a block at the top of the mat and a pillow or bolster over it, just like we did in the beginning of class today. And then I have a second bolster that I'm going to place under my knees. Really nice to give yourself as many props as possible during pregnancy. I'm going to lay down, and if you are feeling chilly at all, you can place a nice blanket over your body. It's warm for me here today, so I'm not going to do that today. But take all the time you need to find a nice, comfortable spot where you can completely release the whole body. As you're starting to find your Shavasana, noticing that breath moving smoothly in and out of the body. Release all tension in the head, as if the whole skull could melt down into your props or into the floor. Let the eyes float in their sockets. All expression falls from the face. Jaw releases. Teeth separate, and the tongue floats in the mouth. Releasing the muscles where the head meets the neck, and letting all of the neck muscles release down the spine, all around the throat, nice and open. Releasing through the shoulders, through the collarbones, and letting that relaxation pour down the arms, through the elbows and the forearms, through the wrists, releasing in the hands and every finger. Let the whole back body, upper, middle, and lower, release completely. Let the chest release, open heart, open lungs. Let the sternum, the solar plexus, be soft and free, releasing all emotion. Ribs are soft, side waist is soft and open. Releasing the belly completely. Perhaps feeling baby relax, or feeling baby start to move in all the sweet space you created in your belly. Releasing in the hips, through the pelvis, through the pelvic floor, releasing from the hips down through the thighs, down through the knees, the shins, the calves, down through the ankles. Feet are relaxed and every toe releases. Release the whole body here. Thinking to yourself, my body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. Let go. Beginning now to deepen the breath, feeling the air move through the nose, releasing out the mouth, feeling that connection with baby as your belly fills with air and empties out. You can bring movement back into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. As you inhale, maybe enjoying a full body stretch, reaching through arms and legs. And finding your perfect way back to your seat, perhaps rolling to a side and pausing for a moment. Being sure that as you do sit up, you hug baby in and use your hands as much as possible to help prop you up. If you're able to sit up on something, great. And we'll bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby, letting the eyes close. Just enjoy this time, this stillness, where it's just you and your growing baby. You can come back to your intention, seeing if there's anything you'd like to bring with you from the practice today. And perhaps there's still something you'd like to let go of. So let's all take one more breath together. As you're ready, inhaling through the nose. Exhale, let it go. And hands come to heart center. We lightly bow the head. And we always thank ourselves first for making time for our practice, for caring for our body, calming our mind, quieting our emotions. By caring for ourselves, we help care for our baby growing inside, and we can be more caring and loving to those in our lives and in our community. And let's thank our baby for sharing in this practice with us. Finally, lifting the gaze, we thank each other with a namaste. Namaste.